NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 5. Hi, this is Barry, and welcome back to Unhallowed Metropolis. I'll take a quick run around the table, and we'll meet everyone.
It's Pedro. I am playing Dr. Desmond Wright, and let's get some shenanigans.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm running Frankie the Undertaker.
Hello, this is Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolf, another doctor specializing in chemistry and alchemy.
Hello, I'm Ty. I'm running Ray Callahan. I'm the Pugilist.
I'm Matt. I'm playing Ayden, the
Antiquarian, is that what you were looking for?
I'm having problems with words. Also, I'm in deep camel dung. So.
I'm Jill. I'm playing Raya, the Mourner.
All right. So last time, only a couple of things happened. We got you guys safely out of the now it's very haunted English. I was going to almost say U.S. That's not good. The English embassy in Cairo. The group then headed back, got out of the heat, the main heat of the day. Ayden, you headed up to the airfield, checking on a number of things, but eventually getting to see 3 statues. Something I do want to bring up, make sure everyone knows, absolutely my mistake. Over the off time, I was able to look. The statues are from the 19th dynasty, not the 12th through 14th, and your character would know that. That's why I'm mentioning it. 19th dynasty is the dynasty that includes Ramses II. We're talking the 1200s BC, and that was completely my mistake. I have been doing my Egyptian research, and I'm sorry, when you're inundated like I am with all of these things, it piles in. So 19th dynasty for those, but you were able to see a number of 10-foot tall Anubis sitting statues sitting on thrones. You were informed that a 4th one was unable to be brought out. You headed back, and you were stopped by 2 vehicles that you didn't recognize. Men came to approach you, put a burlap sack, I said bag, but what I meant was a burlap sack or a canvas sack over your head, roughly threw you in one of the vehicles. You were able to safely land, but we are now driving. So you can feel it. You're going up and over roads. Do you have any kind of... God, I don't know what the skill would be, but it would be possible for your character to do this. So I'm going to just go with a wits roll. I'm not sure what else. Maybe a survival. If you have survival, would rather use that, you can.
Escapology? Is that what?
No, it's not. You're not trying to escape. It's more of a sensing direction.
How about Streetwise? Since I would
sure, I'll go with Streetwise. I can't even find it on the... There it is. Under criminal skills.
Pull a Sherlock Holmes, know exactly how many turns you've taken.
Right. Why, we're right in front of the Baber.
That's a great way to start the day.
Got the bad one out.
So we got one last week and we're back down again. Very good.
Apparently this trunk is really well-sounding for us.
Right. Well, you're back and forth. So you're...
It's also middle of the day. It's hot.
Right. It's hot. You're getting bounced around, etc. So it is roughly 15 minutes before it stops. You are confident with that roll that you have been driven in some kind of a backtracking circle to throw you off if you were someone that was able to it. So maybe it worked, and maybe your head's kind of going, this is weird, what's this coming from, that type of thing. When it does stop, and the doors are open, immediately you feel a rush of cooler air. And we're not talking it's 40 degree air. We're talking it's 70 instead of 109.
Right.
But you do feel a bit of a rush of cool air, and as you're taken out, the sun is no longer out. You haven't been in the truck that long, so you're guessing that you are in a building or underground. You're brought out. You're not necessarily being roughly drug along, but you are being moved along quickly to where I need an acrobatics roll for you to keep up.
So that's 10?
10, yeah, every once in a while you'll kind of stumble because they're bringing you upstairs and they're bringing you around corners. They will catch you, and at one point the guy hits you in the back, not hard, not to where it would do damage, but to make you connect with him, and he says, "Stop screwing around and walk straight." The voice, the Egyptian that's being spoken, very crisp. That you can actually give me a history roll or an intellect roll, whichever you would like.
Okay.
They'll come up with they'll come up with different things. So do let me know which.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to do history so I can do wisdom of the ages.
Very good.
So 18.
An 18. So with an 18, this quality of speech, there's only a couple places that this person would be speaking from. Cairo University, the National History Museum and History Archives, or the Caliphate. And as you are stopped and the canvas bag is taken off your head, it's a moment and you realize it's the last one. You're in the Caliph's compound. So standing there, there's you. There are two men, one on either side of you. You will see, as you look around the room, there is a raised platform. Nothing special with the throne that's there. It's made of metal, or it's gilded in metal, but it's not. You're pretty certain it's not gold. It looks, of course, gold, but it may even be painted stone. You're not certain. You have seen the Caliph before. I don't believe you have been brought directly in front of him before. You have, however, met on his right the head of the National History Museum. See, Cthulhu is killing me right now, because in Cthulhu I play a guy who's part of the Natural History Museum, but you know the curator from the National History Museum actually it'd be on his left. You're looking at it on the right hand side. On his left on his right, your left, there are two other gentlemen. One you're fairly certain is called the Vizier. The other one is the executioner, not carrying any weapons. So you look, you get that half second of panic, and then you realize he has no weapons. You get calm again. Around the room, you are in a circular room behind the Caliph. There are two pillars that break up an open space, so you have three openings there. There are light curtains laid across it. There is a bit of a breeze, and you'll notice that the breeze is currently blowing in behind him, so the billowing look kind of gives him an ethereal, almost angelic kind of look, like his wings are fluttering behind him. It's all set for pomp and pageantry. Additionally, though, as you take a quick look around the room, you're not going to have, not to have your eyes leave the throne, but in that quick look left and right, you're guessing that you've got another 8 men. They are all carrying weapons. 2 of them at least have guns. You possibly all 8 do, but in that quick look, you weren't certain. So the man from the National History Museum steps forward, comes down 2 steps, and says, Ayden Carter, you are before the Caliph. Is this the way you greet your king?
Well, normally I like an invite, but I'll bow.
Okay.
Appropriate.
Very good. You'll see the Caliph. You are confident he is more aware, in it, present than he looks, but he kind of shakes his hand a little bit in your direction, kind of the move along, that kind of look to the hand, which you understand you've been recognized. And he says, Ayden, you may approach the stairs.
So I'll go up.
Nobody else in the room is bowing. Nobody else in the room is on knees, just so you know.
Right.
He comes forward, or you come forward to him, and he says, have you seen the statues?
I have.
What do you make of them?
They're pretty impressive. You could probably find someone to buy them for a considerable amount of money if that was your interest. They certainly seem to have stricken fear within the shippers and the storage crews.
As they should. Where they were taken from, they certainly should.
Where might that have been?
We'll leave that for a later time. My question to you is this. The Caliph knows your dealings, understands them as a part of daily life and commerce, and that's not what you're here for. The question is, were you to move them, how would you get them out of Cairo?
Oh, well, the first question would be, where are they headed?
We don't know. And at this point, on his right-hand side, the Vizier steps forward, and he has a small pad of paper that he's writing on as you're speaking.
All right. Well, let's see. If it was somewhere, perhaps someone around the Mediterranean, I would go by boat.
Would you come up the Nile, or would you send it by rail?
I would probably split them up in case other people were interested in them, and probably secure a shipping port for each one separately. Alexander would definitely be one I would send them out, and then take one down the Nile.
Excuse me, please. And at this point, you've been focused on talking with him. You didn't hear it. Now you're starting to hear it. Somebody else is being brought in, and this person is definitely fighting. Is muffled somehow, and it's being drug here. Brought up. As you turn around and look again, it's quick. You don't take your eyes from the throne's direction, but a quick look over, and somebody has been brought up behind you. You can hear the same kind of thing. It's the bag over the head is taken off. You're still focused up front. The man from the National History Museum has his hand up in front of you, and off comes the band because you hear him say, "This is an outrage!" My Caliph. And you can hear pants hit the floor. And you watch, as you're watching, the Caliph does the same thing with his hand, spins it in the direction of come forward, and up to your left side is Amir, the one that you had gone into his place. He looks at you and looks forward. In fact, he looks at you and looks forward as in he does not seem to want to recognize that you're there. And the man from the National History Museum says, "Amir, you know why you're here, yes?" And he says, No, I'm not. No, I don't." And you hear something strike, and he cries out and falls forward. Do you move from focused on the throne?
Nope, but I will, under my tongue, kind of say it might be something about all those counterfeits.
Okay, how under your tongue? Are very, 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 or were you hoping that this
I'm
guy would
hoping
hear
that
it?
it gets heard, but I'm like saying it like...
All right. So he as you see him fall forward, he holds his back, gets up, stands up, and says, "The statues." And he says, "Yes. We were just speaking with Mr. Carter about how you might move them out of town." He puts his hand at you and he says, "How would you get them out of town?" And Amir you can definitely tell is thinking. I'm sure that periodically your eyes will go to the corner and you notice that he is massaging his back, and he says, "Were I to take them out of town, I believe by rail. It would be the fastest way. They could be hidden under night. The train does not take long to Alexandria. They could be on boat. Where are they going?" And again, you hear something strike, and he screams and falls forward. This time he doesn't get up so quickly. And he says,
to you.
so he takes his hand down and he says, "Mr. Carter, you were saying."
Yes, I would split them up so they could not be easily tracked. Better ensure that they made their destination.
Okay. Who would have an interest in these? I don't know that you had enough time to study them, but what's your thoughts?
Well, they are significant enough that your average collector, who is more of just doing it for the aesthetic or the...
He puts his hand up, and you can now hear someone else being drug in, and he's saying, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?" And again, you hear that canvas comes off, and he says, and then there's groveling. "My Caliph, I'm so sorry." And you can hear somebody scrabbling up. This is the warehouse manager that you spoke to, and he scrabbles up the stairs and comes past both you and Amir, comes up farther, and he says, "Please," and he puts his hands down and his head down on there. He says, "I knew nothing. I was coerced. I wouldn't do this. This is not my choice." The man from the Natural History Museum looks up at the Caliph and looks at you, puts a finger in front of his face, steps in front of Emir, does the same thing, and then steps up to his position. The vizier sets down the sheaf of papers and comes down. He puts his hand on the head of the foreman. Give me a willpower roll.
So that would be a 14.
Okay. So you feel something. That's the only way I can describe it. Something is happening, and it's not just because you're watching. You can actually feel it, like static electricity in the air. The vizier looks up, and now that he's close enough that you get to see him, the headdress, everything that's on him, makes him look young. You're guessing that he's been using antigathics. He could be well into 150 years old or farther. His face, without the paint that's on it, his face is cadaverous. The way that it's been painted, and it's been expertly painted, yes.
What is anagathics? Is that what you said?
Age increasing. We are looking at. I think I've got the right. Do I have the right name?
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
we're extending life.
Okay.
It's common in London. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's out here. Well, no, there's a train.
It's Egypt. Who else would be?
Well, no, but I mean, like, the tech levels, aren't they different?
Of course they are. Of course they are.
That's what I mean. Like,
Right.
I imagined up, where we had all the galvanics. I guess there was some galvanics down here.
Yeah.
But Anagathics isn't necessarily a galvanics process.
I guess that's true.
Gotta
It's
hope I'm
alchemy.
saying the right word.
You are.
Yeah.
You are,
Guys.
yeah.
Yep. But again, because of the paint job and everything that's been done, and it's been expertly done, he does look younger. But your guess is well over a century and a half in age. He stands up. The foreman has not moved yet. He looks at you for a moment, just stares at you. You don't read anything from his face. Then he turns and he walks up and he speaks into the caliph's ear. He nods his head, and the man to your left, the foreman, is picked up and he says, No, I have done well. I've worked very hard. My brother works for you. And he starts going on in this, please, as he's taken out. At this point, the man from the National History Museum comes down and again speaks to you, Mr. Carter. So you were saying, and I apologize. The Caliph is very interested in what you had to say. You were talking about getting it out of the country, and then we were talking about who might want it.
Oh, yes. I think to speed up things a bit, someone who would like it would obviously have to be someone who has a knowledge of the occult, perhaps even someone who has a great deal of resources to be able to spend to ship such large things to them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, probably someone who has some interest in thanatology. With those three things in mind, my guess would be it'd have to be probably someone from either, I forget what they call Germany. Prussia, or perhaps London.
Prussia.
And I would, and if I was a betting man, I would probably guess someone from London.
They took much from our country before the time. The 1800s were full of thefts. We have worked very hard to, and that too. Mm-hmm. Mummy snorting was definitely a thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's something to be considered. Have you been approached for the sale, the movement, anything?
Nope, except my own interest. I came about them and took a look at them. Too big for me to move, though.
And so he puts his hand up in front of you, and he walks to the Emir next to you. He says, Mr. Kujani, which is the first time you've heard his name. He says, Mr. Kujani, I'm going to ask you the same thing. And he kind of, now you're getting from the way he's talking, you're getting that he is repeating your words in his own words, but he's kind of throwing the same thing out there. Go ahead and give me a...
Just because I'm that kind of asshole, could I say something? Perhaps you should do your own research or something.
You certainly can.
Okay.
Do you have psychology?
I do not.
Go ahead and give me a wit roll.
Well, that could have gone better. 14.
14. All right.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's working really hard to change your words, make it sound like something that's different. But in the end, he says the same thing. Prussia or...
And what I'll say is, some say, fucked it up. What is it when they're
Some do
copying?
say that. Very true.
What is it when they're copying you?
When imitation is the better...
Yeah. Some say
Greatest form of flattery.
imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I feel like it just merely is laziness.
So as he's continuing, Kujani takes longer than you do to explain the same thing.
Using words with multiple syllables are just as good as other words with fewer syllables.
So the
just
curator
throwing it
is gonna look at you and put a single finger up. You get the feeling that he gets where you're coming from and is trying to stop it.
Right. I look very apologetic, and I nod in like appeasement type of thing.
Gotcha. So while he's talking, somebody else is brought in. And is brought up. Same
It's a revolving door.
They're all
same
waiting
basic
in line.
situation.
Soon we all come in.
Take a number. Take a number.
Same
When
basic
did we even
situation.
get
There's he kind of says, "Unhand me, oh, my king." Does not say Caliph. Says my king. As he comes up into vision, give me an intellect roll.
Can the knowledge of all ages, wisdom of the
No,
ages,
not for this one.
Is this like the Cleef's abduction hour? Does he have like all of the...
Well, I mean, nothing else is going on.
Yeah, I mean, like, this
it's
is-
not like you're doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... This is the
Jenkins on
time.
board. Let us begin the
Yeah.
abduction.
And some guy, sir, your 3 o'clock is actually coming up pretty quick. We need to kind of wrap this up, my Cleef.
No, let them come in.
So with
It's
an
all at
18,
once.
you know this one. This is Rustam Farhat. He actually competes with you more in the criminal side of things, although he too runs. So he's an antiquarian. He's more along the lines of the study. He goes out, and his shop is a secondary thing to it. But he's brought up, and the National History curate puts a hand in front of you. You see him do the same thing with Emir, and he says, "Mr. Farhat, welcome. The Caliph wishes to know," and he asks the same questions. Really, the only difference, he gives a similar answer to what you did, that he would try and send them out in multiple different ways. He says, "But why would someone take them? They are valueless." And he gets hit, dropped down, pries out, but again controls himself and stands back up. And he says, "They have no saleable value that I can imagine. They have great historical value," and he goes kind of off on a tangent with that to try and re-ingratiate himself, realizing it's an insult. He's not Egyptian. You know that. In fact, you're pretty sure that the name is not even real. He, as far as you can tell from his look, he is probably from farther south in Africa. But he's been here, he's competitive. You guys are jovially competitive, never run into each other at a point where you've been at odds. There's always been an equitable solution, anything a lot different than some of the other people.
You got an extra 5 pounds on me this time, but mark my words.
Next time.
Yeah.
So the one difference he says is he doesn't think London, he doesn't bring up London or Prussia. He says possibly the Emperor of China. And you can see that the National History Museum guy is kind of taken aback with that. He says, "Why China? What would they have to gain from it?" Farhat looks at him and says, "Zahi," now you know his name. He says, "Zahi, you and I both know they've been down here. Within the last 10 years, they go out on expedition. They're very quiet. They're very secretive. They bring nothing back. They pay respects with money all the time. They pay respects with spices all the time. I don't trust them." And he says, and was there another? He says, "Dare I say the French?" And everybody is just silent. The vizier is up there writing. This is very good. And then he steps back 2 steps so that he is, the curator is now in all of your vision comfortably. He says, "Gentlemen, the Caliph thanks you for your time. You will each be brought back to where you were taken from. And of course, nothing here happened. Am I clear?" And then he bows to each of you. One, then one, then one. And at this point, you know you're supposed to turn away.
Right. Okay.
So as you turn away, there's a gentleman who's got his hand pointed to you and out. And you guys each leave through a different door. Now that you're getting a chance to look at it, There are 5 doors into here out of this main area. You go back down. This time you're not taken down into whatever underground thing you were taken to with steps. You walk out, and outside you walk a few steps down. You're brought into a vehicle, and you're driven to your home and let out.
All right.
You weren't thrown out or kicked out or anything. The guy who's with you does not talk the entire time. Do you try and engage him?
No.
Okay. So you get out. You're at the house. What do you do?
First abduction.
Heading inside.
Okay. So inside, you have a servant, right?
Yep.
All right. So the servant, of course, is going to immediately hand you a glass of water and then disappear.
All right.
Until you call him again.
So Raya, Raya and Frankie are training right now, right?
Ryan and Frankie are training,
How
yes.
like intense are you guys going? Because right now there's not a lot going on. So if you guys are like fighting each other, that's the most entertainment going on.
We're not going to draw blood, but we're gonna.
Yeah, we're not gonna,
But you can hear the clanking
Actually
of
hurt
the.
it.
Yeah, we're getting thrown
So
across.
I mean,
the
I've
room.
heard that before. So I'll be like, oh, I wonder if Frankie's up. What Frankie's up to? What time is it about?
We're going to be looking at around 1:30 in that
Perfect.
area.
So I know, medically speaking, I could have just a scotia hashish before my surgery. I'll come out to the
Just to study the
come
hand,
out
boy.
to the to the courtyard and just kind of like sit there with my very nice pipe and just kind of like, to the right, Frankie, to the right.
I do not listen to him.
Of course not.
And then you get hurt.
And that's when the blood boils.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, wait a minute, that's a good point. The hashish in me is like, oh, this is interesting. And then the doctor nagging at the back of my head is like, good God, Frankie, one wrong hit and you're good.
probably everything you're talking about is inside.
Yeah. I'm just like, well, actually, yeah, that's the terror in my back of my head is being like bombarded with the hashish. Like, you just.
So Dr. Wright has been standing there, nodding his head and talking to himself for a good 5 minutes.
Without actually saying a word. You definitely see he's in conversation. So Ray, you're somebody who does take in things. You'll notice that upstairs, both Maroon and Cal are watching as well.
Are you like within eye shot at all?
Well, that's my job.
He's
I'm
right on
going
the
to
other
watch
side.
you guys.
Oh, cool.
Wolf is inside. He's got the note, like the notes and stuff from the he's trying to work through the cipher and try to learn the at least the writing language of Russia. But it's so hot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
Damn
so
hot.
much activity going on outside that even he has to like go, okay, I'm gonna just watch what's going on. So he's like he's watching out his window too at what's going on.
So when you come in, you will hear the clanking of metal
And
the
while he's
crunching.
watching Frankie going at it, he takes a moment to start constructing his injector rifle. Just in case. One throat trank loaded and just keeps it leaned up against the window as he leans back, just in case things get bad.
Well,
So-
now I've had this conversation with both of you in the past. If you ever become a danger to yourself or others, I will kill you.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
You're saying this as you guys are clack, clack, clack.
You remember, correct?
I'll kill you. I will.
So Ayden,
This is such
you
a
hear that
strange
noise, you come in, you've got your drink, which again is cold water.
So I'll drain that, and I will go out to the courtyard and see what is
So
going
as
on.
you're heading out to the courtyard, your servant, who I don't know if I have a name for him, but
Yeah,
for the moment,
I do.
Do you?
It's my aunt, and her name is...
That's right.
Sarah.
So Sarah will come up and say, so Ayden, the Billings have left. I mean, not for the day.
Did they say where they were going?
I didn't ask. Was I supposed to?
No, I just...
All the rest of your guests are here.
Yeah.
All right. When did they leave?
20 minutes ago.
Okay. And I'll head out to the courtyard with them.
Okay.
And I
You're,
thank her.
you're not trying to hide or anything, right?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just coming right now.
So Ayden, might I speak with you for a moment?
Certainly, Doctor.
Then I'll offer you the pipe in case you would like to partake.
I'm good, thank you.
Again, truly appreciate this. Ayden, now I know you have an eye for antiquity, and I found something within the halls of that very haunted place. And I'm just gonna pull out a gun from my back of my pants. I'm gonna say this. I won't point it directly at you, but
I was gonna say, so I'm gonna take the gun and turn it away from me, and then take a look at it.
I would say this. It's a little bit rusted, it appears, but overall in good condition. I was hoping you might know somebody who could be able to fix it up for me.
I could take care of this for you.
That would be wonderful. If you'd like to, examine it for the antiquity of it, feel free. And just let me know how much it will cost to get repaired, and of course I'll pay you for your time.
All right then.
I truly appreciate it. Now, another question. I have 2 shillings on my boy Frankie there. What say you?
Now, you don't know that they're sparring, but they don't seem to be fighting at the level like the Asculpus keep being turned blades in, that type of thing. So you may be able to infer. And if they're sparring, is there a winner?
Right, exactly. I'll be
And
like,
I'll shout, Frankie Raya, first one on the ground loses.
Now, did you actually shout that, or was that in your head?
No, I shout that.
I think I would just ignore him.
The
You're
warning
meditating.
bells in Dr. Wright's head is just like,
Yeah.
well, the he's just like, yeah.
I think Frankie's got this.
I imagine it's more like mindfulness that we just do together.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily thinking Tai Chi. I mean, there is contact, but there's definitely not. Again, if you're striking with the Asculpus, you're striking with a non-bladed end. If you're striking her with the what's that thing called? The sensor that you have. That's
The bat. You don't
no, it's not a bat. It's damn it.
The sprinkler?
The sprinkler, right?
God.
If you're striking with the sprinkler.
Oh, it's a bat. It's just got nails on
This
it.
speaker's got nails. I don't think you want to strike Raya with that.
No, I would not use that. I probably would just. I think I have a sap.
There you go.
anything.
It's the bow stick or something
Yeah.
of that sort. Okay.
Hey, boss, you running into trouble while you're out?
nope. It was a pretty simple exchange.
Good to hear.
I'm looking at the gun. Anything unique about it or interesting?
Other than what it is, no.
All
I
right.
mean, again, in nicer shape, it probably has some collectible value to it, but super limited. It was a good quality gun at the time. It probably would be able to be fixed up to remain a reasonably good slug projecting gun.
Okay. I will.
It does go.
I will say if you need me for anything, I will be in my study. Or was
Do you have a study? Do you have a lab? Do you have a
I'm trying to decide what would be a better way to call it.
My laboratory.
No, it's not that.
I'll be in my office.
There you go.
Oh,
And,
I need a
I'm
laboratory
gonna
in
start
Cairo.
cleaning it and
No,
getting
you
it.
don't.
Very
Oh.
good. Okay. So as you guys are continuing on, Sarah comes up to Ray. She says, now, with you, does she speak English? I got to ask you, Ayden. So she'll say to you, Ray, there's someone for you at the door.
That's foreboding, but okay.
She looks at you odd, but maybe she doesn't know that word. You're not sure.
Sorry, well, English word. All right, and I'll go to the door.
Okay. So at the front, there are 2 guys there. It's Biff and Ray. Great, right? And these are 2 of the guys that you fought with before. They are part of that fight club, and you know the 2 of them will run together. They fight against each other, and they're world Wrestling Federation level. I'll kill you. But they are the best of friends when it's all said and done. And Biff says, "Hey, Ray, you interested in a job?
Can I look back at the...
Just tonight. It's moving. It's heavy moving.
Oh no.
heavy movement?
Yep. We're needing to get guys. 2 of us are on. We got a couple other guys from the ring coming on. Wondering if you wanted to join in.
How much it pay?
£10. And he says it's a good month's gain, minimum.
That's actually pretty good.
That's very good.
That's very good wage.
But without you guys hearing it, yeah, when he's talking about that, Biff wins a larger portion of his, and he always bets on himself. So.
Just for context, I never offered you any money to come with me. So. Oh, and I actually talked to Ayden.
It's good money, man.
This is good money. What time?
Just after dark, we'll come pick you up. Well, I mean, we'll come by and get you. You're going to be here. You can bet your place.
I'll be here.
Very good.
I'm out.
Is the doctor going to be a problem? That's what he called. Actually, he wouldn't say the doctor. Is the professor going to be a problem?
Shouldn't be. Should be able to dump it.
Good. We'll meet you here.
Got it.
And do you head back in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the sparring finishes. Anything else you guys want to do till evening?
Did any of them fall down?
Yeah, I mean, at some point you're going to practice throws, so yes.
We can rush Embo for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I fall.
Aha! Oh,
Strike first.
Frankie! Oh, Frankie, my boy. Well, jolly good show.
Were you betting against anyone? I don't think anyone.
Yeah, I said 2 shilling. Well, I did. You didn't really answer me. So then it was more like a gentleman's bet between myself.
As I
Myself.
walk past Dr. Wright, I look at the hashish with disgust and say, "Don't you have a surgery tonight?"
I do. It's in several hours. I'm a doctor.
As soon as Frankie and them start doing their, I remove the injection from the rifle and I start breaking it back down.
I'll go over to Frankie and just Frankie, come on, get up. Very good show.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you pull. I don't know. Are you even strong
I mean,
enough?
you know what? I would offer, and you probably have to do most of the. Actually,
Yeah.
wait, hold up.
I don't think you're that weak.
No, my vitality's 3.
I just wondered if I'd yank on the doctor.
I probably look more frail than I actually am.
You can take him down. But he is definitely strong enough to try
I
to
pull you up. I feel like every time you actually could interact with my body, you realize I'm actually much stronger.
We
than
think
I
Farnsworth,
look.
but he's not actually Farnsworth.
Yeah.
You guys think I'm just some doddering little like guy with a bum leg, but
And you play
I could
into
kill
it.
people.
yeah, but I've killed some. Let me tell you.
Let me
here.
tell you how many people I let die on that table.
I've killed more people than you've seen.
On principle.
So, Ayden, anything that you're doing till evening?
Just cleaning up the gun and getting it all ready.
Very good. Are you doing the work on it, or are you
Yes.
bringing it to somebody?
I'm doing the work.
Do
on
you
it.
have? I don't even know what it would
I have
be.
a workshop and it says like part of it is you can.
Pistol? Yeah. All right.
And I do have pistol.
All right. So at some point when you're ready, you'll give me a roll.
You spend as
Add
many chips
2
as you need.
for the workshop.
Okay. 13.
Very good. So yeah, you can get it in working order by tomorrow. You'll have it set. You will need to get ammunition potentially made for it. It's possibly able to find it. So, Doctor, you know that you have somewhere to be,
Yes.
and you're going to have Ray take you there, if I remember.
Yeah. So, I mean, whichever one you have first. I mean, I would go and get Frankie first because I told Ray that I would meet him out front.
So my question then, Ray, is it's at dark, and did you remember that you had? You did. So tell me how you're going to deal with this. You're gonna ditch him.
Well,
Before you leave, I'm going to tell you try not to add any additional body parts this time.
Oh, Raya, I would never. You need to pay for that.
isn't what you're essentially doing though?
No, I mean, well, no, I'm not. Oh,
Not the way we're talking.
yeah, no, you don't worry about
we
it.
will cover that at some point, but I think we've actually
God.
covered it in the precursors to this.
You don't need to worry about that, Ray.
Don't worry about it.
So Ray,
So, if I can pull it off, I know that it's a bossy that we did the dealings with the masks, right? That's his name.
right, yes.
He speaks English,
Yes.
so the hope is to drop Frankie and the doctor off, and I'm gonna go deal with something real quick.
Okay. So then it's getting dark, and the two of them show up. Biff and Ray show up.
Okay, well that didn't work, did it?
But you knew. I can roll it back. You know that they're coming at dark. These guys are going after dark.
Okay. Ayden! I got a situation that just come up with some friends of mine. Any chance you can chauffeur the doctor?
Certainly.
Serviceable?
What are you engaging in?
Some grunt work. It pays really well.
Grunt work, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Tomfoolery, even.
What kind of grunt work?
Moving heavy things.
Interesting.
You don't say.
Do you know where you're headed?
Nah, they're meeting me up here at nightfall. Listen, it's Cairo. We don't exactly ask a whole lot.
No,
of
yeah,
questions.
I understand that.
Especially in these days.
You may, I don't think this is a good plan. You may want to, not partake in this. Or have a good way to, have a good escape plan.
I always have a plan.
He's never had a plan in his life.
Narrator
And
comes
you
on.
said
He
that,
does not
like,
have
about
a
the last
plan.
4 jobs that I've done by myself.
Well,
Only 3 of which have gone bad.
I have a feeling this one will go very bad. But
I'll do what I always
just so
do.
you know, keep an eye out.
Oh, I will. I should be back sometime tonight.
All right.
Be around.
So yes,
At which point, I'm going to contact the head of the national.
yeah, I think you would. I think you would have a way to call there. The at least the museum itself. You get an answer. The woman, of course, is speaking Egyptian, and she says, "Yes, we're closed, but I can help you."
I need to speak to the director. You may let him know that Ayden Carter is calling. It is regarding certain statues.
Very good. Hold, please. Dun, 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 dun. No, there's no hold music.
No, they have they have like a little helper that actually just hums into it.
Hums into it.
Casablanca?
I was like,
So it's a few minutes, and he comes on. Mr. Carter. Yes.
yes. I have been fed reliable information that the statues will be being moved tonight.
This evening, you say?
Yes. Normally I charge a fee for that info, but a good friend of mine, an employee, will be working on this detail. His name is Ray. You'll be able to tell him. It'll look like his skin is burning. If you could see to it that he is returned safely and not arrested, I would greatly appreciate that.
I believe that could be worked out well. Absolutely. Okay, so Ray, as you're leaving, Biff and Ray show up. As you're leaving with the two of them, you'll pass the Billings, and Mr. Billings will top his hat to you, and they will come in. For you guys inside, you're getting ready to go. As Billings comes in, and he says, "Oh, are you off then for the surgery?"
Yes. Good evening, Billings. Amazing. Yeah. So we are about to head on out.
Could I accompany you?
Might I ask what interest the surgery is of yours?
Professional curiosity. I believe you said that you were going to be doing prosthetic work. Or at least measuring for such.
Well, yes, I was going to mainly clean up the arm or leg. I don't really remember. And
It's an arm.
it's an arm. Thank you, Frankie. I was going to double assess when I get there, figure out what it needs to be cleaned up, and then, figure out if there's any kind of prosthetic that we could muster together out here. But yes, I mean, I suppose you're welcome to tag along. Now, it will be up, of course, to the family whether you can come into the surgery. And if you do, I trust that you will remain a respectful distance, allow me to do my work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You will not hear a peep from me.
But you are welcome to accompany us.
So he looks and says, "My dear, is it a problem?" She's like, No, go ahead. And he says, "Oh, good. And are you heading out now? And he's now looking. The Ayden's walked in here.
By the way, I do have. I'm just gonna state it so that I know I have it. I have my valise, but I also have my gun holstered underneath my. Actually, no, my new garb. That's right. I have my new outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's underneath that. I don't have my bandolier on.
Okay.
I don't need to go full out, but I'll have some bullets in my valise like I normally do. And then so I just got
Frankie, how are you armed?
Headsman axe.
walking like the Undertaker through town.
I didn't buy it for nothing.
Okay.
You whistle through the streets.
Oh yeah, I drag it on the ground.
Are you carrying a weapon?
Yes.
different.
My pistol's concealed, but I do have my coat patch.
All right, very good.
So I'll ask, Ayden, have you seen Ray?
Unfortunately, Ray had prior engagement he had to deal with.
Oh, what terrible news! I don't suppose you have anybody else that could help.
Actually, I'm going to help with you.
Oh, wonderful! Well, happy to have you along. Okay, well then, I guess we shall proceed.
I was going to let you know that your gun is almost finished. So.
Truly, wow, you make quick work. Excellent. I appreciate it. Just let me know what the bill is, and we'll work it out.
Also, just so you know that it will need a larger round. Might be something a little difficult.
It is quite old, so we may need to get that made.
I could take care of that for you, but it may cost a little extra.
Oh, well, I would truly appreciate it. Even if you could only muster enough to fill the chambers that are within, that would be great. The cylinder, the gun terms.
All right, we're gonna be late.
Oh, yes, I guess Frankie is correct. We have surgery to do.
So the two of you, Ayden and Billings, head out to...
I guess I would also ask you, in this town, where the shopkeep wanted some prosthetic pieces. I don't suppose you know where we could find anything like that here.
So you have seen people wearing prosthetics here, but generally here it's a wood replacement, wood stump for leg, that kind of thing. When he's saying that word, you know what he means. It's not that it couldn't be made, but it is not common here. Very much not common here. So it would be something you would have to fashion or get fashioned.
With that, I'll see what we need. I'll make some measurements and I'll design something. I'm sure you can find someone to make it for them.
There's
at their expense or whatnot.
So Raya and Wolf, the two of you are staying home, as far as I know.
Yep.
All right. So Sarah will be there if you need anything. So Ray, you guys head out. You are heading north, ostensibly to the airfield, but in that general direction. They're talking about the last fight. They're not talking anything about work.
So you guys hear what we're moving?
No, just they needed 100 men to move a couple of things.
100?
100 men?
Well, it's big. I'm not sure what it is.
Over 1,000 pounds.
He says, but I'm sure we can be of help. He says the pay is incredible.
Yeah,
Too
pays
good to be
absolutely.
true.
all right, everybody, grab a corner.
2 fingers.
So as you guys are getting there, you're noticing a number of other people seem to be walking in the same direction. Everybody looks like they're trying to be, secretive and nonchalant with everyone else. You notice a lot of people are kind of looking, and then bit by bit you'll see singulars catching up with others and starting to talk. A couple people joining you guys, know you from the fight. In all, you're thinking there's at least 40 people, and yeah, you guys are definitely heading to the airfield.
There's like 2 cops there going, yeah, there's something going on. Should we investigate this? No, let's see how it comes out.
So,
They got the hashish too.
dude,
We have to look with them for the man with his skin that's on fire.
give me the streetwise roll.
Hey, you're the one guy.
These cops like, there's 20 minutes left. Come on. We can ride this out.
20 minutes.
Let's see where this goes.
That's a 10.
Okay, and then give me also a shadowing roll.
Shadowing. I feel like I bought
No,
that
I'm
skill.
thinking the
Yes, I did.
hourglass.
Hourglass.
Little tiny hourglass.
Oh, my clock's. Wait a second, I gotta wind it.
17.
All right. So with the streetwise roll, you're something is not normal, not setting off any
This
bells.
is Cairo.
Yeah, something's built, and that's why it's important. It's not setting off any like, oh my God, maybe I should stop what I'm doing. It's not setting off anything like that. But there is something peculiar tonight for you. You feel it. With the shadowing roll, there's your estimate right now is well over 60 people are walking as nearly a group towards the airfield that you know is almost never is anyone at the airfield. Okay? There's nothing that comes in there. The only reason they go is during the day to move stuff.
Hey, where are you 60 guys going?
Oh, you know.
Square dance. Yeah, that's it. We're going to a square dance
Yes,
on the airfield.
The annual Cairo Square Dance.
Yeah.
So there, you've seen it before, maybe 2 or 3 times this year to give you an idea of how seldom it happens. There is a light that's going on and off. Not a searchlight, but that type of thing. There's a light that shines into the sky. It stays on for 2 seconds, and it's off for 10. It stays on for 2 seconds, and it's off for 10. You appear, with everyone else, to be walking towards that light. Your safe estimate now is there might easily be 100 of you.
Well, that fits.
Is there like multiple groups of like hundreds of people?
No, there's multiple groups like 8 and 10 and 5 and
You guys are the biggest group.
well no I was saying there's 60. For your group, the group that you were walking with, most of you are the fighting squad. Like almost every one of them is here. Give me another streetwise roll.
10 pounds is 10 pounds.
That's a better roll.
And there's a lot of people around that you could mug for even more than 10 pounds.
So that's a 20?
Okay, so with that, as you're getting closer, when the light goes on, it's bright enough with the addition of the moon in the sky. It's bright enough for you to look. So your group are generally working stiffs, okay? The majority of what you fight with down there are guys with other jobs. This is just a side thing, and in some cases it's something they're doing just to do. It's the money is not the issue, it's I'm bored. There's really not much to do here.
I really feel that.
All right. What you're seeing though is other faces don't look middle class. They look like they're part of the criminal castes. You start noticing in 1 or 2 cases you've actually interacted with some of these people, and the majority of them are not good. And as you're getting closer and closer to this light, it also connects to you. You've seen the airfield before at night. There's usually people here. There is no one here. There's no one on the airfield. There's no one smoking cigarettes, which is what you've seen them do before. There is nobody in the guard shack. There's nobody here. So Ray says to you, and Ray hasn't spoken with you, hasn't directly spoken with you, but has been just talking like everyone else. He goes, "Hey, Ray, does this strike you as weird?"
There's 2 Rays?
Yeah, apparently.
Are you Big Ray or Little Ray?
If you want to think in those terms, you're definitely Big Ray. Yeah. Definitely. But you know that he's a scrappy fighter. He's a little underhanded and dirty, but he's definitely a battle. It's
Dirty
not a
Ray.
simple strike and knock him down.
You have to bust into its hygiene. That seems like a...
Big Ray and Dirty
A little
Ray.
odd, but honestly, there's 100 of us. Most of us are from the pits, and 10 pounds.
Yeah, I guess. So as you guys come towards the light, which you now realize everyone's going to, you kind of been walking with the group. I don't remember you ever asking where are we going or anything. You come there. There is a man. He's in a. They're all walking towards him. There's a man who is in a canvas mask. The mask is the mask of Anubis, so it's the dog face. He is wearing all black. He is wearing the standard Egyptian garb with the flowing robe, the open pants, something for comfort. And as you come towards him, he says in Egyptian, not in English, You speak it, but he says, welcome. Each of you please pass by me, get paid, and then head over there. And he's pointing to the warehouses. Okay? So, do you fight to be in front? You're close enough that you could be in the first 10. Where do you want to be in this group?
I'd be in the front, yeah.
In the front? Okay. So nobody's jostling for position. It's a couple of steps, and you're larger than the good portion of these guys. How tall are you actually? Have you done that yet?
I didn't write down specific, but I picture him. He's probably 6'7".
6'7".
Just throw that out there.
Okay, all right.
He's a mammoth.
I'm reworking that in my head. Yes,
you
he's
should have.
definitely
You
big
should have
Ray.
just
What
said
the-
you can't miss him. He's huge.
Yeah.
So,
The guy.
if you're 6'7", then actually you're
Like
known
a
as
pillar
Big
of
Ray.
ivory, you will
Yeah.
see him blazing through the
Wow.
You are huge Ray.
All right.
You are the Ray.
So the man who you're coming up to says, he looks you up and down. He says, you will be a lot of help. Thank you for coming. And you're watching. Each of the men is being handed out 10 pounds. So something that immediately occurs to you, you can kind of do the math in your head. If there's really honestly 100 people here, that's 1,000 pounds. Somebody of this crew might decide to go after him, and no one is doing anything. They're all just taking the money. You can definitely see the shady sidelong looks, but everyone's walking towards that warehouse. Now, once they start milling towards the warehouses, are you staying in the front? Okay, very good. So as you go out, one of the warehouses, you can see the doorway is starting to, it's lit. You can see light through the crack in the doorway.
Okay.
It seems like everybody is approaching that doorway, and the door opens. It opens for just a moment. There are 3 colors of light. There is a constant white. That is a standard light for anywhere here that's being run from the Tesla tower that's set up. That one doesn't bother you at all. I don't know if the others will, but that one doesn't bother you at all. That's normal. There are 2 other colors. There is a purple or magenta, and then there's also a yellow, distinctly yellow. The white light that you see is solid and high up in the building. The other 2 lights seem to be, your feeling is circular. As the doors open, a man is silhouetted by that, you assume a man, and then the door is shut. It's the barest chance of seeing that. And this one comes out, and he speaks first in Egyptian, then in English, then in Prussian. And he says the same thing because you know the Egyptian and the English. And he says, welcome, my friends. This is a great day. He says, we shall be moving one of the great statues from the past. He says, I've asked all of you to join us. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. And then he moves to the next language and the next. And you've noticed that the group has come over. Tell me what you're doing. Biff and Ray are just kind of standing, watching, arms crossed. They're there to move stuff. That's it. And they just got paid 10 pounds.
I think for the most part I'm doing something very similar, but my eyes are definitely looking to the side. I've definitely got probably my hands closer to my pockets.
Okay.
Because I did see some rather unsavory characters.
Absolutely.
And at this point, whoever we're moving for is pretty high up wherever he is. So,
when you're saying you're looking side, are you looking around, or are you just looking
I'm
side
looking
to
around.
side? You're looking completely around. Go ahead and give me a wits roll.
That's interesting. So 10. So that's going to be a 12.
Are we going with a 12?
Yeah.
You have so to remind you what you have, depending on the level of corruption you have, your highest corruption, you have that many rolls in a game for free as extra rolls. So if your highest corruption is 1, even if you're in 3 different corruptions with 1, you have an extra roll. If you have a 2, you have 2, even if you have a 2 in 3 different ones.
Do I re-roll 1 die or
Reroll the entire roll. Also, there is a group pool that currently sits at 3, and you can also re-roll from the group pool. Generally, you'll ask the group, but I haven't seen them say no yet.
And
It's-
those ones we'll redo at the end of the game. These ones berries give us.
Right.
Yeah, it's usually
Pedro will
for
lose.
economics. It's fine to use your personal ones first before starting using the.
And you don't have to. I just need to know what you're doing. I wanted to make sure you knew your options.
I'll go ahead. I'll give the corruption reroll a try.
Very good. Is your highest corruption 1?
Basically the same number. Yeah.
All right.
You need to pump those numbers up. You need to get a little more corrupt there.
No, you don't.
This
It's
group
a
right
slippery slope.
This group right here, we're a corrupt bunch.
So are you still going with 12, or are you going to ask the group?
Speak
one
for
character?
yourself. I have 2 ones.
Corrupt by association.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good just not knowing.
All right. Very
I was
good.
gonna say I have a good health insurance program, but it's not that great. Feel free to.
Just you wait. Once my corruption gets really high enough,
I'm
I'll be
honestly
like
just
Anthony.
really hoping the
I will
fight
become
breaks out
Anthony
at this point,
Hopkins.
so-
And the whole thing, okay.
Well, so the one who's come out again, he first speaks in Egyptian, then in English, and then in Prussian. He will say to you, he says, the time is now, my friends. I would like to ask each of you to reach into the bag here, grab out a couple of rags, wrap them around your hands. We are lifting stone today. We don't want to see anyone get cut. And so, bit by bit, again, are you walking up or trying to push to the front? Just walking up in
At this point, I just walked to it.
All right. So maybe 15 guys will get up there ahead of you as they take them out. They're very small wraps. As they wrap them around, as you're pulling out yours, you're kind of looking at it. It's gauze-like. You're not sure how much this would help, but you're thinking, okay, this is what he wants. This is what he wants. And he says he will ask. He says, all of you are ready? He says, good. We're going to take you in pieces. We don't want to have people falling all over each other. He says, when I count you off, please head in. And he starts the count. He'll do 1, 2, 3, and he gets to 10, and it's the group in front of you. He opens the door and ushers them in. Now, you're closer. So again, white ceiling lights. And you are not seeing, at least if you were right in the 2 colors that you saw before, you are not seeing that swirling. You are, however, seeing a fairly solid but pulsing yellow circle that's in there. It's obscured in part by the door. The ones are let in, and then he pulls the door shut, and you can hear them talking for a few moments, and then nothing. I will move real quick. I will move real quick to the others. So you guys head over to Abbasi's home, and I would like Ayden to give me a wits roll, please, or a streetwise roll.
Ray is definitely getting sacrificed tonight.
Oh, boy. That's okay.
Go towards the purple light. That sounds more fun to me.
Yeah.
No, don't go towards the purple light. That sounds like Slanesh. 18.
So with an 18, so you're going to kind of notice the other side of this. With an 18,
Some to that degree.
you're used to walking around at night. And in most cases, somebody who walks upright, walks forthright, presents themselves as armed or confident, they don't get messed with. But it's not like you don't see people on the street that could do you harm. Tonight, oddly enough, you don't see any of that.
They're all busy.
This is a little bit odd to you. You're very confused about that. But maybe something's going on in another part of town. It is a fairly large city. Not London metropolitan size, but it's a fairly large city, and maybe something's up. Maybe there's a ENP sting. ENP sting here.
I was like,
So-
Eureka Natural.
Yeah, I just realized that. But so the Egyptian National Police, just to be clear what ENP is, Egyptian National Police, there could be a sting going on. You're not shocked.
99 people broken up in a legal rave.
So odd, but not so much so that everything, your bells are going off.
Right.
You come to the home, and who of you knocks? You or the dog?
I'll knock.
All right. So Abbasi comes to the door and he says, welcome, my friends. Come in.
And I'll do like the greeting and wiping my shoes off type of thing.
I'll for the shoe wiping, I'll follow his lead and whatever customs I see.
Okay. So you guys step in. He brings you into the front room, which is a sitting room. It's a small sitting room. Everyone currently is standing, and he doesn't offer you seats. In fact, if you guys count, there's no way all of you could sit unless you were all sitting on the floor. He says, and then he looks from you. He says, "So, doctor, are you ready?"
Yes. All I need is a table. If
Very
you have
good.
any kind of cleaning supplies to kind of give it a wipe down, want to make sure that it's clean, and then yes, and then let's bring out the lad, and I'll examine and see what I can do.
Now, when you say the word cleaning supplies, you don't get a real strong look from him. So he says, what do you mean?
Sanitary, something to wash the table.
Water. Yes, we can get that.
Yes. Do you have soap?
We're not animals, doctor.
I'm just gonna sit there and just go.
I'm like cleaning supplies. Like in my mind, I'm like that's pretty straightforward. But I guess then again, So
he says something now. You don't speak Egyptian, but he tells one of the women with him. He says, "Clean the table down." And as you guys come into the what you assume is the small kitchen, one of the women is taking a bucket and cleaning down the table with soap, scrubbing it, and then washing it. So it's wet. I mean, it's not puddles, but it's wet. And he says, "Does it need to be dried?"
Preferably, yes.
So then they bring in 2 cloths and they dry it off. And then he says, "Muzzy!" And you can see that the young man is very uncomfortable.
I'll say, be a good lad. Come over here. Don't bite. Don't worry. And I'll like kneel down.
Okay. So he comes to you again. You've spoken with him before. So Abasi makes some motion with his hands. You're not sure what, because you kind of catch it out of the corner of your eyes. But for the rest of you, he does this, which is pulling his hands apart across his chest. And Mozzie takes off the cloak that he was wearing, and he's in underwear, nothing weird, but he takes it off and turns the arm towards you.
I'll say, my lad, this is very fixable. We'll make you right as rain. I'll look to you to whoever to translate, you know.
Okay.
And I'll say, now, I won't lie to you. It's going to hurt a little bit, but I'm going to make sure it doesn't hurt a lot. Now, I'm going to give you.
You can see him tearing up.
It's going to be fine, lad, and I'll put like a hand on his shoulder, just not the hurt one.
Doctor, do you have some of the stuff I gave you?
I say, I have something better for the lad.
Okay.
I'll say, would you like some medicine so the pain can go away? Yeah. Here, take this line. No, I'm not a monster. I have laudanum.
Plus
I was just sitting there like...
Well, what's worse is if he puts the kid on meth and then says, lay down and stay completely still on the table. Not going to happen.
Oh, no, now I need more laudanum. That was too much laudanum. Now I need to give him some meth or he's going to die. All right, this is a jolly good show. Can I have the hashish real quick? I need to level out.
I think it's really doing wonders for my skills.
You know, I might have a creative new way.
And everyone's looking at the doctor who literally hasn't moved from the spot he's been in the whole time.
So no, but I'll say, could somebody help lift the lad onto the table?
I'll help.
So you guys get him on the
table. While he's in that, I'm going to put my valise out and I'm going to measure out the appropriate amount of laudanum for a child to kind of help him go to sleep.
While he's doing this, I'm going to look over at I'm blanking on his name. Sorry,
Abasi.
I'm going to say, hey, Bossy, I noticed your nephew isn't around, and it seems like a very quiet night. Is there something going on?
My nephew?
Yes,
This is Bossy.
No, your other nephew? The one who... I'm like, who...
He says,
He's good at finding things?
Yes, I haven't seen him.
Interesting, okay.
Is there a chair in this room?
No. It's not to say you can't ask. I'm saying there's nothing. Because of the space, it's small. I mean, when we envision here, we envision a kitchen being a large eating area. Mm-hmm. This would be like a breakfast nook that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you in that I know of.
All right, well, Frankie's going to lean on a wall and try to look as, what's the word? receptive to food as possible.
You sit there and suck in your cheeks and
Just rubbing
Yeah.
your stomach.
I'm
Oh.
already bored. I'd like some food.
Sprinkles
This is
blood.
boring. I want food. That's kind of what's going on.
Okay. Do you ever say anything?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll see if the woman is perceptive. Ooh. Well, okay. She is extremely perceptive. And so,
Before you even start, there's dates.
no,
already
it's
there.
a bit. But she, God, the bad dates joke immediately comes to me. But
Don't do today.
she steps into a small, you're guessing, closet, pantry, that type of thing, and steps out with a small plate. There's what appears to be hard cheese and some kind of. They don't look ugly, disgusting, but they don't look pretty. There are wrinkly fruits on there.
Compared to England, this probably looks awesome. So
Right.
I'll
And
take.
she'll pass the tray around to each of you, pass it in front of you. Billings will grab a couple of the dates.
I'm also going to tell Billings, for this, I would like you to stay in that corner where you may watch. Please do not come around the table.
Of course, you need your room. Yes.
Yes.
Your space.
And so then, so I'll give the child the laudanum, and wait till.
Wait a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's keyed up. It's not like the laudanum is going to knock him out.
Yeah.
It relaxes him a bit, and you keep talking through Ayden.
And
she brings the food to the two of you, offers it to you first, and then offers it right over the boy's chest to you.
I'm gonna say no, not right now, thank you. I want to make
maybe
something
just-
clear. My character has no qualms. He's a monster.
Yeah, we all know that.
But to children,
Yes.
he's got a soft spot.
Okay.
Kids, he's kind
I
to.
like it.
So they haven't had a chance to turn
Put
into
another
monsters yet.
another spot in the
Oh,
card.
thank you. So I'm trying to ease his worry as best as possible. Yeah, I worked in a pediatrics department for a little while.
Okay.
So you guys probably are seeing something that you haven't seen before. And so then I am going to do my best to make sure this kid's not gangrenous anymore. And
So you're gonna start cutting.
yeah, I'm gonna start cutting. And when I think that he's, I'll give him a couple like prods just to make sure, see if he can feel, do you feel this or anything like that.
Do they have like lidocaine? Is
Yes.
Yes, they
Yes.
are.
He just doesn't have it with
I
him.
don't have any. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot. It's not.
That's his stuff.
It's not. No. I don't have a lot of lidocaine. I have a lot of different things.
It's okay, child. You're gonna go fine. Was this one of Dr. Wolf's
Yeah.
hide injected?
I
Oh
have-
shit!
Remember, it's
roll
all
these
white
both.
liquids, and it's just all in
Right.
unmarked.
Yes. It was established 2
Yes.
years ago that the doctor, everything is in white liquids.
I remember where they were. But yeah, no. So then I'll start doing my thing.
All right. So you'll start cutting away, and everyone watching, unless you're squeamish, the doctor is very good at what he does. I hope. Give me a roll.
He's very good.
If
No,
that-
initially he is very good at what he does.
Double
So-
ones, no. Let me see here.
If the plate comes to Frankie,
Oh, the plate's gonna come right back.
he just takes it. He doesn't.
She'll hold it for a moment and
I'm
then let
pulling.
it go because
Yeah.
nobody else is actually taking any.
Yeah.
Except Billings.
No, forget Billings.
I mean, 17.
So 17. So you guys, he is extremely good at it. And I don't know that any of you have seen him do anything other than field surgery. So as far as that goes, he
None
looks,
of the people here.
no, he looks extremely meticulous. Billings every so often will come closer and look, but then realize he's stepped away from his spot and stepped back. It's going really well. Back at the airfield. So
Oh boy.
Speak about cutting.
So, Ray, go ahead and give me a wits roll.
Like those
From the
bolt
warehouse.
guns from it.
18?
So an 18.
Is it a cult? It's better be a cult.
You're certain you're gonna die.
So at this point, you're just kind of waiting. This is weird because if they're going to need 100 of you, it's kind of odd to take them in this numbers. But it's been about 10 minutes, and the guy, the one who's there, says in each of the 3 languages, he says, "We're ready to get the next group set." I apologize, I didn't explain it correctly to you. What we're doing is setting you, giving each of you your specific orders for moving it. It is a very, very sensitive item. It is very breakable. That's why we're sending you in small groups. I apologize. Most of my men don't speak any of your languages comfortably. And then he says that again in Prussian, and again in English, and then again in and I keep saying Prussian. It is German. They are speaking German, and again in German. So
Did he say in Egyptian?
Egyptian.
yes, Egyptian was always first. So the door is opened, and again they're cracking it enough to get people in. It's not flung open. All right.
Now, when it closed, they didn't like close it and then latch it.
No, you don't hear any locks or anything like that. So
As a matter of fact, you don't hear anything inside.
So again, you can count.
Now will 50 of you gather on the sacrificial line? I'm sorry, mistranslation. The wine of joy.
So the next group of 10 takes Ray, but not you or Biff, and they head in, and he shuts the door. Biff's like, "Well, that was kind of unfortunate. Well, all right, we'll be in the next group."
So if I can get Ray's attention, I'm gonna ask him, "Did you bring your knuckle dusters with you?"
Yeah, I don't go anywhere without him as he's walking in.
Just be ready.
Dirty Ray don't go nowhere unarmed.
So back to cutting. So you've got most of the gangrene off. You have it cleaned up. You're starting to. You brought things to disinfect, or you have alcohol.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah.
All right. So
Sure.
you start setting that. Your next step is to start closing off veins that you open, arteries that you small bits that are there.
Yeah.
Cleaning that up. Weird to say this, but the stump looks better, markedly better. He had healthy skin, but the ends were not. Where he is, he's closing up with flaps of skin and gauze. It is definitely looks very healthy. You finish the plate, Frankie, and she comes up. She's puts her hands up like, "Do you want more?" Puts her hand to her
Yeah,
mouth.
I'm nodding. Yes.
So she takes the plate from you and she goes into the small closet, and Abasi says, "So you now will fit the prosthetic, or how does this work?"
So, Abasi, I don't, I'm traveling. I don't carry around prosthetics with me. What I can do is I am going to take some measurements. I will design one for you, and I can bring a design to you. Now, I don't have the resources to make it myself here, but you seem like a resourceful man. I believe you'd be able to find somebody to be able to make it quite simply.
If I believe so, but you would provide me with I don't know the word. And he looks at you, and he looks at you. The
Measurements?
yes, the way.
The designs?
Yes, that's it.
Yes. I will
designs.
make the designs. That way, not only for your young nephew here, but I'm sure there are other lads here that have accidents.
Yes, this is a common thing. Yes. Are you saying you would stay and work with all the young men?
I unfortunately don't believe I'll be here that long, but if I can provide something to help the children, then perhaps that's maybe the best I can do. But for now, and I'll give him instructions like, make sure to have them clean this, do this, I probably don't have antibiotics.
I don't think you would carry them.
No, actually, let me rephrase
Do
that.
you?
I probably would have carried some for myself.
Another white liquid in your bag?
Yeah. Okay, not the Werther.
Uh-huh.
No. So, yeah, you know what? If you will allow me, I imagine I would have taken some antibiotics.
Sure.
I will take one set of antibiotics and
Give
get
it to
one
him.
run of antibiotics and give it to him.
Give
and
it
say,
to him.
have him take one of these a day for X amount of days.
Keep it clean, keep
yeah.
it dry.
All the basic instructions, and I'll send the designs to you as soon as they're done.
And the woman comes out, hands Frankie the plate. Billings is going to come over and ask a few questions. Doctor, why did you do this? Why did
And
you do this?
I'll answer because I'm feeling generous to him.
So back at the airfield, the few more minutes have passed, and the guy who's there at the front, give me another wits roll.
Oh boy.
Make it count.
Sorry, he's wiping his face. Where's all... What? Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. 13.
Yes.
I mean, I'm cool with you,
What
Chicken.
are we going with?
Or use your one.
He did.
I
He
already
did.
used
Oh,
it.
yeah.
There's
You should use
3?
a chip.
All right.
There's
We'll
four.
give it a
Four.
shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it. Chipping in.
Oh my gosh, that was sufficiently worse.
Take the better of them.
Or re-roll. The option is still there.
Or corrupt yourself.
There's that too.
Feed into
So the way
anger
the
and
devil's
hatred.
bargain works is you can raise one of your corruptions another level and take one more reroll. Or, as I said, the group pool is still there
Yeah.
if you want as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally can.
I personally want
mean-
to see you fall. So.
Okay.
Become terrible like the
All
rest
right.
of us.
That's
Give in
cool.
to your aggressive feelings.
There's nothing happening here that Ray would.
Nothing. No, I mean, again, the peculiarity, I've told you, there's nothing else you've seen or sensed.
Next.
Right? As he wipes the sides of his mouth.
So
Sorry.
He's not going in. He's standing there with you.
Well, that should tell me something right there, but I'm just gonna keep it 14.
All right. So with a 14, you feel something is not right. Okay, more the streetwise kind of feeling something's not right. Not that it's inside, nothing like that. But again, walking over here, so many guys, no ENP. You're just wondering.
I like to take basically a measure of the people that are going to be going in with me, or what I can guess would be my group.
Well, so your group has Biff if you go in with him. And the next, as you take the quick look, this seems to be kind of the scrawniest group you've seen. You know, wispy ones. These would be dippers. You know, pickpockets, that kind of thing. Maybe divers. Somebody that's going to be dropped down in the lower levels of a building and work his way up to steal things. You're certainly not a fighting group if that's what you're saying.
So it's Biff, myself, and a bunch of street rats.
Yes, exactly. And now that you're starting to take a moment to look, the 2-second, 10-second light is not going off anymore. In fact, you're not really sure when that stopped. Probably when you all got here, but that is not going off anymore.
I'm gonna look at Biff and be like, "What are you thinking about all this?"
Oh, I'm thinking it's the easiest money I've made in months. He says, what are you going to do afterwards? Go drinking?
Nah, I gotta go head back to Ayden's. I'm technically still on contract, but
That's lucky you. You got a good one there.
mm-hmm.
And so the guy says, may I bring the next 10 in? What do you do?
Definitely feel it both my sides for my knuckle dusters. I'm just like,
Yeah, it would be easy for you to meander back so you're not one of the 10. It would be very easy for you to do that.
Alright, I'm gonna look at this black robe cloak guy or whatever and be like,
Uh-huh.
so what are all the others?
When you say the others, and he's speaking to you in whatever language you use, you say the others, he says, look around you. The additional 80 we need are here. The 20 are inside. They're set. We're bringing in the next group.
And they close the doors each time.
Each time they close the doors. If you're wondering, what we're doing here is we are setting each of you up into your area. It is a sacred item. We want to make certain that nothing goes wrong. And outside stimulation sometimes will... And he leans in kind of conspiratorially. He says, you understand some of these are strictly here for the brawn.
There's not like a read person or scrutinizing this. Is
There's kind of the wits roll or psychology.
Okay, I don't have... Well, I have wit, but I don't have it good, so...
Okay. Certainly welcome to roll, always.
I mean, 2's not bad. But
Did you say if this guy was like a local or?
This guy you've never seen before. The one who's talking to you, the one who's running the show, absolutely never seen before.
Barry, did you clarify, does he have an accent from
Yeah,
a
is he
particular
Egyptian?
place?
He sounds Egyptian. When he speaks German and English, he sounds Egyptian.
And to clarify, this is not the same person who was in the Anubis mask, or is it the same person?
This is the same one who was in the Anubis
This
Fast
is-
that you
okay.
got the money from.
Yeah.
Ray could give me a history roll.
I don't have history, so...
All right.
He doesn't care.
Ray could give me a theology roll.
Ray can.
All right. I'm trying here. All right.
What
Ray,
can you do, Ray? Dig deep.
I can fight.
so, what would you like to do?
Go in there and
Ray
fight
can
whatever.
do a wit
What
roll.
would Ray
I
do?
honestly think
You're
that's
feeling
gonna
what you're
happen.
feeling. What are you doing?
I'm gonna be in the next group.
All right. Very good. So the door opens and he starts counting in 10, and you walk in. So have you wrapped your hands, what they asked you to do?
Yes.
Okay. So very good. So as you come in, there's a man there. He is only speaking in Egyptian. So periodically, Biff will say, what was that? What was that? And you realize that Biff can kind of pigeon through Egyptian, but is not actually understanding it fully. Like he has a basic idea. And you will see there are 3 large statues, much larger than you, of course. Around each of them, you're not really sure how they're going to pick it up this way, but you will notice around the first one, there are 10 on well, you're assuming all 10 are back there. You see like 4 or 5 on either side of the statue through the feet are on the back. There's a group on the left-hand side. They all have their hands on the statue, and they're just kind of talking, holding their hands there. And you're being brought to the front. And what he's telling you to do is he says, make certain that you don't touch the statue. It is very old. We don't want oils from your hands to cause it trouble. Please put your hands onto the statue, and when it's time, you'll take your hands down and lift from the bottom. And he will walk to each of you. You'll lift here. You will lift here. You will lift here. Okay? Give me a wits roll.
That's an 11.
Okay, so with an 11, as you're looking at the guys closest to you on the left-hand side, yes, they're talking. Yes, they're kind of intermingling as you would expect guys that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they've been waiting there. The first group's been waiting there for probably close to 20 minutes at this point. You get a weird sensation. You're looking at them, and it looks like the 2 that you're watching seem to be saying the same thing. You're not sure what words. You don't hear them speaking, but it's like like the films that you've seen, but on a loop. Seems to be doing the same thing over.
Is there any way for me to move closer to that I can hear what they're saying?
As you step over there, the man says, "No, my friend. Here. This is where you are. Here. You will be," and he points down to the bottom. You will be lifting down here.
Thanks, and I'll say it to him in Egyptian. Thanks.
You'll be bending the knees.
I know how to lift things, damn it!
We'll keep the back straight.
Okay, so do you do what he said? Do you place your hands onto the stone?
I will mimic that I am.
But you won't actually do it?
No.
So he
If
comes...
I have to roll something to make it
yes,
look like I am...
what you're going to do is you're going to roll a sleight of hand. It would be escapology.
Damn it.
it will be coordination.
Damn it.
No, my friend. The hands on the stone.
Well, I've had first rolls.
What do we have?
That is a 14.
14. So he walks by each of you and he says, good, my friend. It won't be much longer. Good. And works past the group of you.
Immediately listening to the people near me.
Yeah. So the ones near you are just kind of like, this is really weird. I haven't done, and they're speaking in Egyptian, but they're saying, I haven't done this since I was young. Since my father was teaching me religion. This is so strange. There's an order to it, and they're kind of circling around. They don't know what's going on, and they're kind of bored. But the one thing you do hear is, we got 10 pounds. A couple of them, for a few moments, kind of talk about, we could have just rolled the guy, and he's like, yeah, but could have gotten shot. Somebody else might have pulled it from us. 10 pounds, 10 pounds. So the guy finishes the last person on the line, and the 10 of you are stretched out along the front. He steps back. You now see a yellow light. You're not sure where from. Do you look for it?
Yes.
Okay, so it is at the top of the statue. And around it, there is also now a swirling purple that is starting to grow. And the guy steps back out of your sight, and you can hear him speaking words. You have never heard these words before. This is not Egyptian. It certainly doesn't sound English. And you've heard Prussian. It doesn't sound Prussian. Okay? So he speaks the words, speaks. The purple gets larger, and then the purple and yellow disappear. As you're sitting there, you can hear the ones next to you on the other side of you are talking. They talk through about 15 words of what they had already said, respond exactly, and then start over exactly the same thing. The first time, nothing. Second time, you're like, did I hear that right? The third time, you listen like, that can't be right. At the fourth time, you're like, okay, that's really weird. And Biff is just standing there. Biff was not talking to you before. What are you doing?
Biff, still there, bud?
Does not respond to you. Also comfortably seems to have his hands on the stone. Now, holding your hands up there like that, give me a vitality roll. Nope, I'm sorry. Give me a will roll. No, it's not that. He has to hold his hands to look like they're faking. His hands are going to eventually shake. Anyone's will.
Yeah, that's true.
That one I want to throw a chip at.
All right. Very good. What do we got?
I need to stop spending chips. So that's a 15.
Oh, 15? All right. Very good. So the yellow and purple swirls were going. They zoomed down to nothing. You listen for a few minutes. You listen the other way. And then you can hear something loud, hard. You've heard the sound before. It sounds like a knife going through flesh. You're currently facing forward. What do you do? You're facing forward. You have your hands held. You hear a thunk, number one.
Start swinging.
What do I remember of the people that were in here? Are they armed with guns? Are they armed with anything?
They don't look like they're armed with anything.
Are we in a tent? Am I in a...
No. You're in one of the warehouses. The warehouses are approximately 20 feet in height. They're about 15 feet wide, approximately 100 feet in depth. You're roughly 20 or so feet into the warehouse.
Oh boy, Big Ray, what are you gonna do?
How many cultists did I see, Barry?
You're maybe thinking 3. And the only one that's been anywhere close to you is that one guy.
I'm running.
You just lift your hands and run?
Yes. Dead sprint away from this statue.
Okay.
And out of here.
So the minute you take your hands off, there is a purple light that goes to your hands that looks to you like you just pulled it off the front of the statue. Mm-hmm. All right? As you pull back, give me a willpower roll.
Ooh. Do you have concentration?
Yes, I do have concentration.
Good, you'll add concentration to that roll.
Is it just will? He said willpower. Is that
Yeah.
Will roll. I'm sorry, a will roll.
You'll add will and concentration. It's the only one that you get to add both of them to.
11, so 14, so 17.
With a 17. So as you pull back, you hear somebody to your left, and you are right-handed, I'm assuming, so you would turn to your right so that's your lead hand out so you wouldn't see him. You hear somebody that's left says, "What? No!" Cut back to you guys in the house.
No, it's okay, let's go back. Let's go back.
Wait a minute.
I killed a kid. Let's go back.
So for you guys in the house, the woman is bringing over another plate to you, Frankie. She gets almost to you. She reaches towards you, and then she screams, dropping the plate, and puts her hands to her head. At which point the kid, Muzzy, kind of comes out of it and starts jabbering. And what he's jabbering is, what's wrong? What happened? What happened? And Abasi is looking at you and says, "What's going on?"
Wait, is he saying it in Egyptian or?
No, he's saying it in English. What's going on? What's wrong?
I don't. My word, I don't understand what. And then I'll kind of open the eyes, check the pupils. I'm just trying to find a metaphor.
He seems to be fine, drugged.
Yeah.
Exactly what you would expect, except that he's a little bit wound up.
I'll tell Bossy.
You guys hear something thunk upstairs directly above you, like a body just hit the floor, and the front door opens, and somebody's yelling in Egyptian for you two and Billings for you. It says, "Uncle, come quick. Come quick." Back to you inside the warehouse. As you turn, You don't see anyone as you turn directly. Where are you running to?
Doors.
To the doors you just came in?
Yeah.
So as you run away, the purple that was at your hands, you've pulled it with you. As you run away, it snaps back. The entire warehouse, all the lights snap out, and we'll stop there.
Oh.
Oh
I did a
boy.
thing.
Yep. So
I can't wait to
Good
see what's
job,
going
Ray.
on. I can't wait to see what
broke
Raya
Toro.
and Wolf's situation
So
is
everybody
during
take
this.
an experience point. Ray, I'd like you to take 2. And come on, Brain. Wright and Frankie take an extra 1 as well.
Oh, man.
Ayden, I might have broke Cairo.
Yeah, it's fine.
Man.
You know, it's everybody has to break a city in this group.
Yeah, it's
Wolf,
initiation.
meanwhile, trying to decipher the crap, and goes, "What on earth is all that
Oh,
screaming?"
shoot.
and there's
Actually, do we already?
yeah,
Yeah,
we're,
we're good.
All right, so the other thing I want to mention, so you guys would definitely hear that. You two are in the house. I apologize. I should have brought you in.
Yeah.
You guys will both hear a woman scream
Yeah.
in the house. That's your ending point, too.
yeah, okay.
Oh.
All right. And then we'll see you guys next week.
We're totally
next
gonna
week.
Cambridge Cairo.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.